On the news tonight,
asked me about and asked me to explain.
President Tinubu orders immediate cleanup of forest and coastal areas to combat criminal activities.
I hereby wholeheartedly accept to be your deputy.
Dr. Olaide Adelami resumes duty as Ondo's deputy governor. Also tonight, we bring you the tale of a first-time mother who welcomes a set of sextuplets after a 13-year infertility struggle.
Well, Carnival-wise, we know that honestly it's not easy.
Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jummai Yusuf. Hingino John Adams will be joining us later from Lagos. Benny Adams is standing by with some business news, and Bade Adele will be bringing us the latest from the ongoing AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. Actually, it's Mike Olale will be joining me. You can also watch this broadcast live via our website nta.ng/live and also on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. We will, in the course of tonight's broadcast, also join our correspondents live in multiple locations. Caleb is in Jos, Abdullahi is in Kano, and we will be joining Susan Eze later in Enugu. We begin tonight's broadcast with what clearly amounts to great news, not just for the family involved, but apparently for the country, as well as the federal government, as they join in celebrating the birth of a set of sextuplets at the National Hospital in Abuja. They were born to a couple who had been in a 13-year infertility struggle and whose bundles of joy finally put an end to more than a decade of waiting. Ruth Agwele reports.
It is not every day you get to hear of the birth of sextuplets, an exciting story of the birth of 6 babies who were precious gifts for this young couple, Mr. and Mrs. Ifeanyi Nwachukwu, who have waited for 13 years. A tale of pain, perseverance and patience that yielded results after several attempts to have just a baby. Their miracle came knocking in 6 folds.
Sincerely speaking, it was not easy. Everything was on a high side. Though everything that other women feel, I felt more than double. God took me through. So people were like, are you sure you are going to make it? Why not go and reduce? I said, if God allowed the children to go get there, they will grow.
The amazing thing also was that everybody expected that she was to have 5 children, but just as they were in the OR, her tummy opened, 5 children came out, and then doctor shouted, "Oh, there could be another one." So they got a 6th one, which was an extra gift from God. These 6 children are under the care of one of the best neonatal facilities you will have in this country.
Now, economically wise, we know that honestly it's not easy. It's not easy. And that is another aspect that really bothers us much.
To demonstrate federal government's commitment to the plight of Nigerians, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Delu Bulus Yakubu, is here to share in their joy and bring good tidings.
On behalf of Mr. President and my humble self, we are here to celebrate with the family. Thank you so much, and the miracle that have been done to you. I will assure you, we will see how we can be visiting your family time to time to see how we can give our support in seeing us bringing the children up.
The federal government, no doubt, is not ending its kind gesture here, but also expecting to see more of such celebrations going forward. In Abuja, Ruth Agwele, NTA News.
Indeed, what God cannot do does not exist. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has formally congratulated Alhaji Aliko Dangote, President and Chief Executive Officer of Dangote Group, on the award of the National Order of the Lion conferred on the business mogul by President Macky Sall of Senegal. The award, the highest order of Senegal, will be bestowed on the foremost businessman on February 2nd, 2024. President Tinubu applauds the industrialist for his enterprise and ingenuity, as well as for creating jobs and opportunities for Nigerians and others across West Africa and contributing to their economies. With the award further affirms, the president describes the award as an affirmation of Dangote's contribution to economies across the sub-region and wishes him the very best in his endeavors. And now let's tell you about the ongoing efforts to clean up Nigeria's forest and coastal areas in an attempt to rid these areas of criminals and illegal miners. The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, has been directed by President Bola Tinubu to champion this cause with another commitment to strengthen the National Biosafety Management Agency. Charles Alpha tells us more.
The recent alarming rate of killings of forest guards, wildlife crimes, poaching, activities of illegal miners, and likely threats from imported genetically modified products into Nigeria are never going to be allowed to continue. And this is why the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas, was mandated to deliver the marching orders to the concerned agencies under the ministry. The National Park Service and National Biosafety Management Agency are central in this regard for the development and enhancement of the Nigeria's game reserves for tourism.
There's no agency that the president asked me about and asked me to explain how they operate. He asked me 3 times, do they bear arms? I said, yes, they bear arms. They are not a paramilitary, so then he was happy because of the issues of security that has developed the nation. We wrote a letter to the Minister of Defense to give us more arms.
Headquarters, we have 20 projects, and we have executed up to 95%. Some are yet to be completed.
What are the consequences that we envisage when there's unregulated practice of modern biotechnology? These include possibility of misapplication.
As the agencies introduce the minister to their modes of operations, on the whole, teamwork, commitment to duty, mentoring and collaboration with state governments are deemed essential to realizing these orders. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And on to politics. Come Saturday, February 3rd, voters in some constituencies cutting across 26 states will be going out to vote in several rerun elections. Joshua Ajito has a compilation that captures INEC's readiness for the exercise in some states.
From Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, INEC says election will be conducted in 7 polling units in Yenagoa constituency 2 as sensitive and non-sensitive materials have been dispatched. 2,828 registered voters are expected to vote during the by-election.
Today, our voter education team also went to the polling to those locations of the polling units to sensitize people there so that they will come out and vote.
Meanwhile, political parties that will participate in the by-election in 2 constituencies of Delta State signed peace accord to adhere to rules and regulations of the election.
Only those with permanent voters card. If you don't have your PVC, then you have no business being there. Beavers will be used before voting, and results will be uploaded to INEC result viewing, the IRF portal.
Similarly, all is set for the by-election in Ikare as political parties are busy on the field highlighting what they have to offer to electorate as INEC distributes election materials.
All registered voters in this federal constituency should turn out en masse. They should be rest assured that their votes will count. Whatever vote that is cast that day will not be lost.
In Kebbi State, election will be conducted in 2 federal constituencies and materials for the exercise have been distributed.
Just witness the distribution of sensitive materials for the Arewa and Dundee rerun elections and by-election in Yauri, Ngaski and Changa.
Electorate in some constituencies in Bauchi State will also vote in the forthcoming by-elections.
Because everybody is going to spend the night there, we are going to have a refresher training that night for the election officials. And so as early as 6 o'clock, these materials and ad hoc staff are going to move to the various polling units for the election to start by 8:30.
There is going to be serious deployments of personnel.
Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And in Plateau State, we know that the by-elections are scheduled to hold for the Jos North Bassa Federal Constituency and Plateau North Senatorial District. Concerns are rife over the elections there as opposing political actors gear up for the exercise on the plateau that continues to generate interest across the country. Now let's bring in NTA's Caleb Gochin for the latest in the build-up to the February 3rd polls. Caleb, it's good to see you, and for obvious reasons, the by-elections there in Plateau State continues to draw attention. And I understand the latest issue that sparked another round of protests from those aggrieved over the conduct of the polls actually happened earlier today. Now, can you bring us up to speed on what really happened and how that is likely to impact the by-elections?
Yes, Jummai, it's good to see you too. And sometimes you are forced to ask why and why Plateau. But these are the dynamics of life. Just this morning when the sensitive materials were being distributed at the Central Bank of Nigeria here in Jos, it was discovered somehow, that's the story we got, that one of the parties wasn't reflected in the ballot paper. So that indeed brought about those concerns that you have raised. And you know the Plateau State, because of the appeal court judgment that annulled some of the elections and then called for the rerun of the Jos North Bassa House of Reps and then the Plateau North Central District elections. These are billed for Saturday. The parties met and they called for a quick resolution to this. However it is, the rec is here, Plateau State. Dr. Agundu is here, who will tell us how ready they are for the elections on come Saturday, despite all that is there. So, Doctor, sir, let's have you. Could you just tell Nigerians? Sorry, yes. Hello. Yes. So, could you just tell Nigerians how it is going, especially INEC in Plateau State?
Yeah. In Plateau State, as far as we are concerned, the election is going to proceed as scheduled. We have done all the necessary arrangements to ensure that the election proceeds on the 3rd, by Saturday, as we have planned. Today, we have deployed the sensitive materials to all the local government, and from the reports we have gotten, all of them have arrived safely, and they have batched them for further deployment tomorrow, so that to the racks, we intend to activate the racks tomorrow, and so that on Saturday elections will commence. And so earlier we have deployed all the necessary non-sensitive material. We are ready.
Okay, that's right. So tomorrow is another day. So I think all these things will be sorted out before Friday. But just as you've said, they are ready. So thank you very much. Back to Jummai in the studio.
Indeed, Caleb, I can see the cold weather there. I hope it will douse some tension on the day of the by-election. Thank you so much for coming on Network News. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Ebetokun, has ordered the restriction of movement on roads and waterways in 26 states, where rerun and by-elections will hold from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, February 3rd, 2024. First Public Relations Officer Olumiwa Adejobi conveyed the directive at a press briefing in Abuja. Francis Form reports.
Saturday, 3rd February 2024 is scheduled for the rerun and by-elections in 26 states, and the Nigeria Police Force, being the lead agency in internal security, has taken necessary steps to ensure that the election is peaceful, devoid of security breaches. It is in the light of this that the Nigeria Police Force has ordered a ban on security aids to VIPs, escorts from accompanying their principals and politicians to polling booths and collation centers during elections.
State-established and owned security outfits and organizations, quasi-security units, and privately owned guards and security outfits are also barred from participating in election security management. The IGP urges political parties, candidates, and their supporters to conduct themselves responsibly and in accordance with the electoral laws, as any attempt to disrupt the electoral process or violate the established guidelines will be met with the full force of the law.
Meanwhile, the police force said it has arrested 13 suspects linked to the killings of Ekiti monarchs and are currently assisting the police with useful information. In the meantime, IGP Kayode Egbetokun has assured the governor of Ekiti State, Biodu Oyebanji, and Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele that the perpetrators of the heinous crime will be apprehended and made to face the full wrath of the law. This was when the governor paid him a visit at the Louis Edet House in Abuja, and operatives of the mobile police force, IRT, STS, and one helicopter have been deployed to Ekiti for the rescue of the kidnapped pupils. Francis from NTA News.
Thank you, Francis, and more on by-elections when we return. Don't go away. This is NTA Network News. Now let's cross over to Enugu State, where over 67,000 eligible voters are expected to participate in Saturday's scheduled by-elections in Igbo Eze North, Udenu Federal Constituency and Enugu South State Constituency. Susan Eze will join us now from the core city. Susan, welcome to Network News. It's good to join you, but what is INEC saying about the conduct of the by-elections there in Enugu State in terms of arrangement for a hitch-free exercise? And are we likely to see the same election rules applied for this rerun?
All right, thank you and welcome to the cold city. Yes, indeed, build up to this rerun election on Saturday. INEC at different fora has continued to promise that everything is set for the conduct of that election. The officials, wherever they go, especially during their meetings with stakeholders, they have continued to assure everybody that no stone has been left unturned. They have prepared very well and everything is set. And then today, during the distribution of the sensitive materials at the CBN office here in Enugu, the resident electoral commissioner also restated it that INEC is ready. They have started long ago to cross their T's and dot their I's, and he assured everyone that there will be no problems. All the logistic arrangements, he said, have all been made. The materials leaving the CBN today will be taken down to the local government headquarters. That is the local government areas that are involved. And from the local government headquarters, they will go to the rack centers. And from the rack centers on the election day, they will be moved to the polling units. And he has assured that nothing will go wrong based on their arrangements. Now, they have also assured everyone that the entire electoral process would be adhered to. The electoral rules will guide the conduct of the rerun elections. They will follow every guideline that has been laid down by the law, especially as it affects the use of electronic materials, electronic voting materials. INEC has assured that everything will be done according to the law. While they are giving these assurances, they have also enjoined the political parties, the candidates, their supporters, and the electorate to also abide by the rules on their own part, while INEC abides by the rules on the part of INEC. That is it.
Correspondent Susan Eze in Enugu. Thanks so much for your update on the by-elections coming up on the 3rd. And in Kano, the Independent National Electoral Commission says it has concluded arrangements to conduct rerun polls in the Kuchi, Sayawa, Kura, Garun, Malam and Rimin Gado Tofa constituencies for the State House of Assembly elections. These elections are slated to address gaps left by court orders within the 3 local government councils in the state. Abdullah Mustafa is our man in Kano tonight, and he brings us the latest on INEC's readiness as well as what the people are saying about the polls. Abdullah, it's good to see you.
Thank you, Jummai.
Now, where do we stand in Kano with regards to the distribution of sensitive and non-sensitive materials for the polls, and of course with beavers as well?
Almost everything regarding sensitive and non-sensitive materials have been distributed. They have been delivered to various INEC offices in the 6 local government areas affected. Although the chambers are 3, the state constituencies are 3, that is Sanyawa Kunchi, Tofari Mangadu, and as well as Kura and Garum Malam. So there are voting materials in all the INEC offices in the 6 local government areas, including the beavers. So everything has been delivered to the affected constituencies, as well as personnel have already been deployed to those communities, including security operatives to ensure peaceful conduct of the exercise.
Aware that voters there in Kano are largely politically conscious and usually hyperactive when it comes to, elections. Are we going to see that play out on the 3rd?
Certainly, especially with the situation now in the state, the change of pattern of leadership in the state, especially like Sanyawa Kunchi is a politically tense area. So too Rimangado Tofa, that too is a battleground. So the 2 parties, the NNPP and APC, will ensure their followers, or rather supporters, will try and ensure that the election was in their favor, the outcome was it will be in their favor. So people are really anxious to see what is going to happen. So I think everything is okay, and security has been ensured. So this is the situation so far, Jummai.
Thank you so much, Abdullah Mustafa, and the whole of Nigeria will be watching how it plays out from all the by-elections in the country on the 3rd. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Former Deputy Clerk of the National Assembly, Dr. Olaide Adelami, has been sworn in as the 7th Deputy Governor of Ondo State by the Chief Judge of the State, Justice Olusegun Odusola. Abdul Karim Ahmed reports that the occasion marks a significant milestone in the political history of the state.
The Deputy Governor, accompanied by family members and political associates, took the oath of office, pledging allegiance to the state and vowing to diligently serve the people.
I, Dr. Olaide Adelami, do solemnly swear.
The governor, in his address, expressed unwavering confidence in the newly sworn-in deputy governor, emphasizing their shared vision for the development of the state.
It is our expectation that you will provide fresh ideas and new drive to support this administration. Yes, sir. Consolidating our legacy projects, building a sustainable socio-economic base as encapsulated in our redeemed agenda.
I hereby wholeheartedly accept to be your deputy, and my loyalty to you will be total.
As the state embarks on a new chapter with the inauguration of its deputy governor, the hopes and aspirations of its citizens are ignited, paving the way for a promising future filled with progress and inclusive development. In Akure, Abdulkarim Ahmed, NTA News.
Let's bring you up to speed with other reports making the rounds as the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has commended the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria for championing the cause of the Green Energy Initiative introduced by the federal government following the removal of fuel subsidy. This was when the minister played host to IPMAN and other strategic groups championing constructive collaboration with the government. Saliu Wanara reports.
Non-stop visit to the Ministry of Information and National Orientation showcases the impact of the renewed hope and citizens' willingness for partnership and participation in government action plans. National Executive Council of IPMAN are here to strengthen their partnership towards effective information dissemination.
We at the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, are particularly supportive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Green Energy Initiative, which climaxed in the event of the CNG.
I'm happy that you recognize that, and I'm happy that you are partnered with the federal government to achieve the CNG initiative. You will recall that the federal government set aside in the first instance about 100 billion naira for the purchase of buses, the CNG buses, for the establishment of also the CNG centers around the country. And then the federal government also went ahead to reduce the cost for those who are importing these CNG kits. Indeed, the federal government has taken away the taxes that are accruable for those who are investing both in the kits and in other sectors of the CNG.
Chartered Institute of Human Capital Development also came calling as they showcased the plan to key into the government national reorientation agenda.
And we believe as a professional body we can provide solutions for capacity building for Nigerians and Nigerian also different organizations.
We expect you to put the issue of orientation and national orientation also in some of those things that you, in the trend that you do, because this is actually the starting point. Even the human capital issue is an issue of attitude. And attitude is tied to reputation. Reputation is tied to orientation. Yeah. So all these things come together. We have to bring them together so that we can forge some form of progress, some form of unity for our country.
The minister assured that government policies and programs will be pursued to effectively harness the nation's potential for sustainable prosperity. In Abuja, Saliu Wanara, NTA News.
The Senator Ibrahim Lamido Educational Support Fund has been described as a ladder of educational development for Sokoto East Senatorial District. This came to the fore at the disbursement of educational support funds of 50,000 naira each to 5,852 students from the Senatorial District. Dalhatu Abdullahi reports.
292 million naira was disbursed by Senator representing Sokoto East Senatorial District Ibrahim Lamido as educational grants to students. Aminu Muhammad Ahmad and Hafsat Garbagada were among the benefited students who described the gesture as timely, considering how registration fees in tertiary institutions have been increased.
The disbursement by Senator Ibrahim Lamido make a very high impact in the registration fees of the students.
Flagging off the disbursement, Senator Ibrahim Lamido, represented, says the gesture is aimed at assisting the students to pursue their studies with ease. The lawmaker says the disbursement of the grants is devoid of political and religious bias.
He has outlined outreach program for health personnel to go and assist the people in the IDP camp. He is trying to provide water in the IDP camps. He is providing solar power in the IDP camps, and he is also helping the children of the poor in terms of education, in terms of health and other things.
Similarly, Senator Lamido distributed 11 luxury vehicles to APC chieftains in the zone to enable them continue to mobilize support for the party. He also constructed 2 boreholes in each of the 8 local government areas in the senatorial district to improve the lives of the electorate. A cross-section of speakers at the occasion underscored the importance of supporting youth acquire education. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The management of the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas NLNG has described as unfortunate the recent boat mishap along the Bonny-Port Harcourt boat route, supposedly involving one of their passenger shuttle boats. Manager External Relations and Sustainable Development Andy O'Day, while reacting to the incident, says the company is awaiting conclusion of police investigation for appropriate response to the alleged involvement of its passenger boat. Kingsley Amajiri has details.
NLNG, aside from its cooperation in liquefied natural gas in Bonny, River State, has over the years been an active player in passenger boat shuttle between Port Harcourt and Bonny. However, an incident recently occurred on that same route, claiming the life of a fisherman. While the boat mishap has allegedly been caused by the NLNG passenger boat, the company says as a responsible corporate organization, it is subjecting itself to police investigation. They are, however, urging all stakeholders in the matter to await the outcome of the investigation.
Those who use the waterways besides our passenger boat service, either fishermen, community boats, or others who operate on the same waterway, a lot of care is taken to ensure that safety is strictly adhered to. It's an allegation, but for us, we have opened ourselves up to investigation, and we hope that and believe that at the end of the day, everything will come out clean. Our Association of Boat Owners and Fishermen came to protest at our gate. But I'd like to give credit to the community for ensuring that at the end of the day, a tripartite meeting was held between NLNG, the police, and the protesters.
Meanwhile, the Association of Fishermen are calling for justice over the matter.
We also recorded incidents of two of our children get drowned, and I think nothing was done. Occasionally, it has also happened to me. The fishing implement, the boat, it will capsize, and based on that, the creek was covered by the fishermen, not allowing LNG inbound and outbound. That's Sunday morning.
The company, in reaction to the allegation, sympathizes with the bereaved family, the association, and the community, stressing that it will respond appropriately at the end of the investigation. NLNG restates its commitment to adhering to maritime safety guidelines in all of its operations. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Time now to join Michael in Lagos for more on NTA Network News. Hello, Michael. It's good to see you. Compliments of the season.
Good to see you, Jummai. Consistent maintenance of federal roads will be given priority as the Federal Road Maintenance Agency FEMA continues to gain more mileage in road rehabilitation in Lagos and Ogun State. Joe Popola reports that the agency wants Nigerians to protect public infrastructure to forestall damage.
Building on the success recorded during the youth-tagged Operation Connect to Your Destination, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency FEMA is determined to ensure all federal roads in Lagos and Ogun Corridor are in good shape. Before the intervention of FEMA, Itokin-Ikorodu Road was hitherto a nightmare with the deplorable state of the road, but the prompt intervention of the Federal Road Maintenance Agency brought relief to the people. Just like Itokin, Agbara Road, especially the critically failed section around the markets on Lagos-Badagry Expressway, takes an average of 3 hours in gridlock, necessitating the intervention of FEMA.
I came all the way from Ikeja, passing through. I mean, it was very fast.
It's a thing of joy. We are happy, especially we that apply this road on a daily basis.
The Oloto of Otoawori lauded the proactive steps by FEMA.
Since last week, when the government came to assist for the road issue, the palliative they did there. In fact, it's very nice.
Director East Operations of FEMA says the agency will redouble its efforts this year to ensure each free vehicular movement.
At least one major part of the problem has been solved by the FRME here. It is in our plan that the other side too, which is the Badagry bound, will also be tackled. And we also have a plan to now desilt the entire drains and possibly too, based on availability of funds, cover the slab
we plan to intervene in so many sections of our routes, majorly between Djibowu and Ikorodu dual carriageway.
With more funding, the agency assured Nigerians of a jolly good ride in 2024. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
That is it from here, and when we return, Benny Adams is standing by for business news. Please stay.
Good to know you're still here. Now talking business. Amid high expectations of impacts from ongoing economic reforms, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group says more positive results will begin to trickle in if all involved will diligently walk the talk.
We need a set of well-bundled reforms. Adjusting monetary policy rate alone, tightening it alone, does not account for the multiplex of drivers of the inflation rate and the headline inflation. We must have a coherent response on all these accelerators to truly start to make the robust shifts we must see in inflation rate. And I think that that's why we say that the entire economic team must enter this aggressive reformer dynamic stance and coordinate together in a way that we are targeting each of these accelerators with incremental solutions and interventions in the short term.
The markets investors gained 901.78 billion naira as the oil share index advanced by 1.63%, getting the bulls back after 2 days of losses. The market capitalization also recorded a gain of 901.78 billion naira. The total volume traded advanced by 14.93% to close at 861.01 million, valued at 12.16 billion naira, and traded in 12,851 deals. Uni Insurance was the most traded stock by volume with 113.76 million units traded, while Zenith Bank was the most traded stock by value with 2.76 billion naira worth of units traded. At the close of trading, the market recorded 52 gainers, 17 losers, and 49 remained unchanged. That is business news. Network News continues with Jummai.
Thank you so much, Benny. We'll take a break now. When we return, more on Network News. Don't go away. Thanks for rejoining us. The hijab represents modesty, virtue, and respect for every Muslim woman. Hawa Gimba takes a look at the head covering as an identity for Muslim women around the world.
It will interest you to know that not only Muslim women put on hijab. Some women who cherish modesty also adorn the hijab. No wonder a day is set aside to spread the awareness on the importance of the hijab, as well as addressing the challenges Muslim women who adorn the hijab face.
Let us blaze the trail in our chosen fields of endeavor and be examples, reference points, not for negativity, but for all that is decent, humane, productive, and proactive.
We are committed to spreading this message through all possible ways until it is widely understood and embraced.
Celebration of the World Hijab Day started 12 years ago, and the Coalition of Nigerian Muslim Women is committed to constructive engagement with various stakeholders on the significance of hijab by Muslim girls and women. Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
Now let's join Badi Adele for an update on AFCON 2023.
Many thanks, Jummai, and welcome to AFCON Update. Now, it's been days of intense training at the Corps de Police in Abidjan as Nigeria's Super Eagles intensify preparations for the face-off against Angola on Friday. The last training session before the encounter ended about an hour ago, with all players participating, including Alex Iwobi, who says the target of securing a semi-final slot is non-negotiable.
Yeah, we have to give a lot of respect to Angola, because obviously to get to where we are in this stage of the competition. It's a big achievement in itself, and like I said the game before, where they're able to score 4 goals, it's not easy, and they have a lot of creative players. But like the coach said, I trust my team. We've been keeping clean sheets. We've only suffered 1 goal, so hopefully that plays a factor as well. But we're going to need the whole team again to defend. We're going to have to fight for the team, fight for the win. It's not going to be easy. Like, they've been scoring a lot of goals, but I have confidence in my team that we'll be able to withstand any pressure that they put on us.
And we can confirm too that goalkeeper Stanley Nwambali took part in the full training session. Now, as more teams will be knocked out of the tournament over the next 2 days, correspondent Ahmad Fulani in Ilorin gives us perspectives from the state of harmony.
The surprises seen so far, especially with the minnows upsetting the so-called football superpower in the continent.
The performance of the Super Eagles so far so good. You will say one should be very impressed with the tournament. Guiding momentum, they start to pick up from a match to the other, showing strength and then determination.
This year's tournament has been an improved one in terms of the quality of gameplays.
Of significant interest to both football pundits and fans is the top-notch refereeing at the tournament, as the football umpires have raised their performances as well.
We can boldly say that the African football in terms of refereeing has improved tremendously.
They give us the feelings that we are coming back to our status. We are winning the game, the cup.
At the end of round of 16 matches, a total number of 105 goals were scored, with the average of 2 goals per match, with Equatorial Guinea player Emilio Insu the highest goal scorer with 5 goals.
Now the match between Nigeria and Angola is for 5 on Friday, while the other match comes at 9 in the evening. That's AFCON Update. It's back to Jummai.
Thank you, brother. We wish the Eagles the best. The remains of the stepmother to the Vice President Kashim Shettima, Hawa Abakome, who died today in Abuja, has been laid to rest in Maiduguri. The funeral prayer had in attendance Vice President Kashim Shettima and Governor Babagana Umar Azulu. The Chief of Borno, Lesu Ibrahim Ahmed, led the funeral prayer. Other dignitaries that attended the funeral include the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, members of National and State Assemblies, ministers, head of service, and members of the Borno State Executive Council. Aged 89, Haji Akomi left behind 5 children, many stepchildren, and grandchildren. The death has occurred of Inde Paul Guntu, a community leader of Gung Palace, Kabud of Kanke, local government area of Plateau State. He died on the 25th of January 2024. He is survived by his wife, 4 children, and many grandchildren. The family will announce his burial and arrangement in due course. Weather update is next.
Welcome. Horizontal visibilities across the country are quite poor due to dust particles, where we have cities over the north and the central states reporting visibilities as low as 300 to 400 meters over Kano and Katsina. And we expect further deterioration in visibilities in the next 24 to 48 hours. Thick dust haze is expected over the northern region, while visibility values of 1 to 3 kilometers in moderate dust haze is expected across the central cities and the inland areas of the south. The coastal parts of the country should wake up to early morning mist and fog patches, with partly cloudy to hazy atmosphere as the day progresses. Please stand by for the air quality index.
And that's NTA Network News. Thanks so much for watching. I am Jummai Yusuf. Programming continues on the network service of the NTA. Do stay with the NTA.
Thank you.